to the episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. Hope you guys had a great week. It is Friday. Looking forward to some amazing plans over the weekend. Hope you guys are. For me, just working, doing the same old, being a dad, trying to be the best person I can possibly be. So, we're going to probably decorate for Christmas, it's about, I feel like I'm actually kind of late. Usually I decorate around, a little bit after Thanksgiving, but I blame Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was actually on a later date than usual. Usually it's like, I don't know, usually it's like the 24th or the 25th. I think this year it was like 28th. It was actually kind of, like, I don't know, it was kind of crazy. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today, all lined up. We're going to have our WWE Smackdown talk. We're going to talk about some AEW Dynamite. And then we're going to get into some TNA. Also, TNA, we're going to get into some Ring of Honor recap as well. And then we're going to preview and predict, talk about the matches. We're going to talk about NXT Deadline happening on Saturday, so it should be pretty dope. And in our fifth and final segment, we're gonna just review, kind of give my reactions and my analysis of the TNA. They had a PLE last weekend. It was Turning Point, so we're gonna talk about that. And but before we do any of that, just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we want you guys to know that we are all ears 1,010%. We just want you guys to be happy. This podcast is all about keeping the conversation going, making sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy and drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not use that $? Basically guarantees anything you guys put inside that chat box is going to be featured, talked about, maybe even debated about on the show if it's that juicy. So make sure you guys hit up that super chat. It's a great way to support the channel, guys. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do need your guys' support. And, you definitely do want to give us support because we do have amazing podcasters who have one goal in mind to make sure that you guys consume all the sports content that you guys love. And guess what? It's absolutely 1,010% free. So why not throw us a little bone here and there? We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. Let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. Let's get this party started, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat, not your thing. It's all good in the neighborhood. Make sure you guys hit up that tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. There's going to be some disagreements. There's going to be some criticisms, and it's all good, guys. We just want to make sure you guys are having a good time listening and watching the podcast. All right, so let's go to talk about some WWE. WWE Smackdown. Obviously, we are going to get a lot of the fallout from WWE Survivor Series Wargames. We are at the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Cody Rhodes is set to kick off SmackDown. 1 week from tomorrow, we have WWE's Saturday night's main event where he will defend the WWE Undisputed Championship against Kevin Owens. Will we see Kevin Owens tonight? I think we will. I think we're going to get a nice little... We're going to get a taste. Usually before... a big event, which WWE and Peacock obviously want to make this kind of like WWE. They even said it's going to be PLE worthy content. So you can expect it's going to be a great match. It's It's to the point right now where this is Kevin Owens' second time a shot at Cody Rhodes' championship. What's going to happen with the Kevin Owens character, if he loses? Like, I feel like he will lose. But there's going to be a reason. Like, he's going to have that out. I feel like ultimately maybe Randy Orton comes back, screws him over, helps Cody Rhodes win, wins the title, and then you get that, the Randy Orton Kevin Owens match, again. So I think because then their first match at Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, I think it was Riyadh. They never really had a decided winner. So, you could probably kind of bank on them building up momentum. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, maybe last man standing match, first, I doubt first blood. But, just, one of those matches I bet, would be, ideal, because right now I don't think Kevin Owens is ready to take over and be the WWE Champion, especially with everything, going on with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes as well as a character. He's kind of running short on storylines. So, during these next 2 weeks, we're probably going to get, some potential storylines, because right now it seems like Cody Rhodes is, kind of running a little dry here. So, should be pretty interesting to happen when, to see what happens tonight. All right, Solo Sikoa will address the WWE Universe. Will we finally get tribal combat? I've been definitely, as a wrestling fan, I've been waiting for Roman Reigns to challenge him, or vice versa, and then they finally find out who's going to take over that Ulafala, because at Wargames, Solo Sikoa lost. The new young bloodline went down, and Roman Reigns' bloodline was the superior team. In every angle of it, they were kicking ass. They were literally. There was a couple times where it was, Jacob, but then as soon as Jacob, hurt his knee, and then he sold it, he kayfabed it. And ever since then, you kind of saw things go down, and you saw Bronson Reed injure both of his ankles, which kind of, brings me to another point. Will we see Bronson Reed tonight on SmackDown? Bronson Reed is seriously hurt. He's seriously hurt. Will he just be not even mentioned on WWE, or will he kind of get written off of television? Maybe they have like a backstage brawl with the Usos and Roman Reigns, and Sami Zayn spears him through a wall, or just something like that. To the point where it's like, oh, Bronson Reed's going to have to get medical attention. He's going to be out for quite some time. So maybe they might write him off television that way. I'm not too sure, but, it's, I want to see this Tribal Chief combat. It's been long overdue. It's been way long overdue, and Saturday night's main event, this would be main event worthy. Solo Sikoa has one thing over Roman Reigns right now, and that's that, the Unafala. He is the Tribal Chief, technically. But with Roman Reigns, he has all the momentum on his side right now. He has all the momentum. He's going to come out tonight on SmackDown, and he's going to feel so damn good. No one's going to... and Solo Sikoa, he kind of has to react. He kind of has to react to, show Tamatonga, Tongaloa, and, Jacob Fatu that he's he ain't no scrub. He's going to continue to battle and try to be more superior than Roman Reigns. I personally thought that the Young Bloodline was going to pick up the victory, kind of building up momentum, having a little bit of, tension between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, which, also another thing. What was Paul Heyman's favor to CM Punk? Will we find that out? And anytime soon? It definitely could be, Next, we have Naomi and Tiffany Stratton and Elektra Lopez in a triple threat match to find out that last spot in that fatal four-way, to find out who's going to be crowned the inaugural WWE Women's United States Champion. I definitely think it's going to be... I don't know. I don't think Naomi right now. Not Naomi. I want to see Elektra Lopez kind of get into a bigger and better spot. But, you kind of think about the three women that are actually already moved on: Mi Chen, Bayley, and Chelsea Green. You kind of think about those. You have two baby faces, and then you have a heel. So it makes me think, that automatically, for me, I'm like, okay, so that's, that crosses out Naomi. Tiffany Stratton, it is kind of funny that she does have the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't think she's going to win that match, but if she does, that'd be pretty cool. But ultimately she has the case. Why would she want to? Well, the inaugural Women's United States Champion does sound pretty sweet, but possibly becoming the Women's World Champion seems like a sweeter deal. So WWE probably will have her in the match, but she'll probably end up falling to Bayley or Chelsea Green. I don't know why, but I don't see Mi Chen, winning the title. Nothing against Mi Chen, but I don't know, it should be crazy. Motor City Machine Guns are taking on the Street Profits for the WWE Tag Team Titles. Going to be decided tonight. Will we see Tommaso Ciampa Or will we see Johnny Gargano's plan? Johnny Gargano owes Tommaso Ciampa an explanation. And, last time you saw them on SmackDown, he was like, you know what, you figure something out. I'm going to keep doing things my way. But, he's going to hurt Alex Shelley and, Chris Sabin. So, definitely building up toward a triple threat tag team match, for the titles, probably heading toward Saturday night's main event. It would be cool to kind of see a ladder match. But I think they recently did have a tag team title ladder match like a couple of months ago. Maybe like a month and a half ago. Maybe like a month and a half ago. But, it'd be pretty cool to kind of see what's up. Next, we have the LA Knight. What's going on with the LA Knight? Is he going to invoke his rematch clause? We'll find out tonight. And what's going down with the women's tag team titles? Well, are we going to get an update on Jade Cargill? Or, is Bianca Belair going to be forced to kind of have another, person take the place like maybe Naomi? I doubt Bayley. I really doubt Bayley. I feel like Naomi would be a right person to kind of fit inside that booking, that spot. And, you can have a couple of wins with Naomi and, building up Naomi's veteranship and her, still being, still able to pick up victories here and there. But ultimately, I feel like this is a nice way for Bianca Belair to finally drop those women's tag team titles and find herself back into the singles division, which is, for me, I've been waiting for that for quite some time. There's a lot of WWE women tag teams that I feel like, that division is, kind of like for them, I don't think Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, two powerhouses, kind of have any business in that women's division, in the tag team division at least. So, I don't know, it should be an awesome episode of SmackDown. Monday Night Raw was pretty badass, so, there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to get a nice episode. All right, guys, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into some AEW Dynamite. We're going to talk about the episode when we come back. So, hey, do not go absolutely anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls. We talk about injury updates and active statuses. We talk about, superstar contract negotiations, extensions, new signings, from promotions like WWE to AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, to the GCW, to New Japan Professional Wrestling. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, 1,010%. So make sure you Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show so you guys can get notifications whenever we decide to go live. And you guys can definitely, participate in the chat as well. All right, just going to reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Smackdown talk. A little bit of an in-depth analysis on how the how the episode could possibly go, and now we're gonna get into some AEW Dynamite. But before we do any of that, I just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, whether you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of the world of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to get off your chest here at the GSMC Sports Network. We are all ears, 1,010%. We just want to make sure that you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix, so don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat, and if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not hit that $sign next to that chat box, which guarantees anything you guys put inside that box is going to be featured and talked about on the show, maybe even debated about if it's that juicy. Plus, it's a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. Continue all these amazing podcasters who have one goal in mind to make sure that you guys definitely consume all the sports content that you guys love so dang much, and it's absolutely 1,010% free. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, super chat, not your thing. It's all good. Go ahead and hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here, the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. The criticisms are going to happen, some disagreements, and it's all good. It's all gravy. It's all water under the bridge. Don't even worry about it. We just want to make sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. Make sure you guys got having some good fun watching this podcast. All right, so we're going to talk about AEW Dynamite. It was a good episode. AEW Dynamite, I think it said it decreased. The viewership was decreased. But, something that I noticed on Dynamite, you're definitely, you are noticing a decline in wrestling fans inside the building. AEW has recently been rumored to kind of stepping down and starting to have shows at smaller venues. And for me, I feel like that's kind of the right way to go. And it doesn't make you less of a wrestling promotion or anything like that. It's just a nice way to kind of keep the building full. Make sure, for the fans, for people watching at home, and obviously, the wrestlers, they go in there, they see a complete, filled side over here. But when they turn their backs, it's absolutely bare. So, kind of having smaller venues seems like it would be it'd be a nice touch. I feel like it wouldn't really, diminish the value of, Tony Khan's promotion. But, AEW Dynamite was, was pretty good. Shelton Benjamin taking on Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher, he was able to steal one. He was able to steal one, obviously, the Shelton Benjamin. He built up some pretty good momentum, in his first stint with AEW, obviously with the Hurt Syndicate. MVP, no matter how much he goes out there, no matter how many times he, says, the more I give you those, the business cards, this will change your life, you know what I mean? But, it's cool. It's cool. Obviously, right now, Ricochet is, on the fence of, do I want to join the Hurt Syndicate? Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. I feel like with the addition of Ricochet would be awesome. But, Shelton Benjamin, once again, getting a loss. I think this is his first loss in AEW, but it was against Kyle Fletcher, obviously, this Don Callis family storyline, building up some heavy momentum. You had him defeat Will Ospreay recently. So, there's going to be some give or take. But, having Kyle Fletcher pick up this victory, I feel like is, for me, I feel like it's better. It's, building up this total heel that Kyle Fletcher is ultimately trying to create, trying to be successful, trying to get out from the shadow that is Will Ospreay. So, I don't know, should be pretty cool. Hook was laid out by the patriarchy. What does that mean? Maybe, I feel like without the FTW championship, and, this isn't an indictment on Hook or anything like that, but I don't know, it just seems like he hasn't really been prominent within AEW. Seems like he hasn't really been, part of the fray. Obviously, right now, Taz is actually going through, surgery. I think it's its knee. I'm not too sure. But, right now, it just seems like he's kind of lost. Doesn't really seem like he has a direction where he's going right now in AEW. I kind of understood why they retired the belt. It was kind of just like a glorified hardcore championship. But it did produce a lot of matches. And it did produce, a lot of future stars like Hook and Brian Cage. And also, Jack Perry as well. It definitely did serve a purpose. And, I kind of missed the belt, being honest. Mercedes Moné, Camila, she's attacked. She has all the, confidence in the world. Recently you've seen Camille quit. Mercedes Moné was, and it's just, I don't know, for me, I didn't really like the booking. Mercedes Moné, she, kind of made her look weak because obviously her title run is, the kind of, the responsibility of how long it's been kind of running is because of Camille. So, kind of this whole conflict between her and Mercedes Moné, I was kind of like, okay, but, it's, hopefully the AEW has another storyline that, they can give her. The Hurt Business, backstage, obviously, Shelton Benjamin frustrated that he lost to Kyle Fletcher in the Continental Classic, and, they decided to attack some security guards, and, they looked really tough. They looked really badass. I'm just kidding. MVP, I definitely love, during the promo, he was, kind of talking out, kind of screaming out, "That's what we do. That's what we do." Like, really, dude? That's what you do? You beat up on, poor defenseless security guards, and all of a sudden, Bobby Lashley looks badass and Shelton Benjamin looks unstoppable. And it's, for me, I thought it was kind of a bad spot, but that's just my opinion. Next, we had the Dynamite dozen. We had 12 men. People from Lance Archer to Brian Cage were there as well. And then Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, which I kind of knew was going to happen. They were the final two. And now they will fight at Winter is coming next week on Dynamite to find out who's going to take on Maxwell Jacob Friedman for that Dynamite ring. So, it's going to be good. It's going to be damn good. We saw Jamie Hayter promo. I feel like she is she's on the verge of something special. I feel like she's a former AEW World Women's Champion, so I feel like she does still have a lot of she has a lot of juice left. So, and I feel like AEW is not ready to kind of put her successful career kind of in the rearview mirror, not quite just yet. But she could put on some great matches, and the fact that this women's division in AEW, I gotta be honest, has recently been kind of hurting. No Willow of Nightingale. No oh god, Julia Hart of the House of Black. I feel like ever since Mercedes Moné has become a double champion, I feel like the division, it's kind of been a little lackluster. They do have decent matches. The match between Anna Jay and Penelope Ford was actually it was decent. It was pretty good. But I don't know. I feel like Jamie Hayter is going to be a future champion once again. Swerve Strickland against Max Craster. Obviously, this was a get right spot for Swerve Strickland to pick up this win. You definitely don't want Swerve Strickland taking a break from the spotlight too much. So I thought it was after the statement Swerve Stomp, I thought that was a nice spot. I kind of did feel bad for Max though. I was like, okay, Max Craster. I was like, dude, where's the Acclaim? Do they really want him to learn his lessons, or they're letting him get his ass kicked? But, all in all, it is what it is. MJF hit a promo basically piling on Adam Cole, saying now he's responsible for the downfall of his friends and a lot of what's going on with the whole Jon Moxley and the Death Riders kind of thing. Classic MJF. The straw man argument kind of derived the point into something different, making Adam Cole kind of look bad. Classic, a way for him to kind of piss people off. So, it was a, classic MJF. I thought it was funny. And he said, I know that you cannot beat Kyle O'Reilly. Kind of just, just kind of stirring up the pot, man. Gotta love MJF. Switchblade Jay White defeats the Bastard Pack with the Blade Runner after Wheeler Yuta took him down. So I thought that was actually kind of crazy. Then after the match, you saw Jon Moxley come in. Then you saw Orange Cassidy come in. He was dressed as a cameraman, but he was able to, try to fight Jon Moxley. Then you saw Hangman Adam Page come out to fight Moxley as well. Unlikely alliance, but it was actually kind of cool to see these three, superstars. I want to hate Hangman so bad. And for a little while when the Bang Bang Gang were, they were double champions, the Ring of Honor 6-man championship, also the AEW Trios championship holders, they were kind of, they were a little, but, this new character development with JY, I kind of like it. I feel like it fits him perfectly. Chris Jericho serving a New York Minute saying that he's coming to Ring of Honor, which is, I feel like Ring of Honor kind of needs a little bit of Chris Jericho. Not that I'm saying the shows are, stale or anything like that. I just feel like it's, it's a good spot. It's a good spot for Chris Jericho to kind of be there with the learning tree and the way he stirs up the fans, the way he's able to, cut a pretty long promo, the way he's able to, get into the wrestling ring with absolutely anybody and make it, seem like an instant classic. So I feel like him coming to Ring of Honor is, it's good for the company. I feel like it's great for the company. Anna Jay defeats Penelope Cruz in a nice match. Anna Jay, obviously, she's won 8 out of her last 10 matches. She challenges Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné, of course, comes out, fake like she was going to get inside the ring, but she's like, you know what? Not on your time, on my time. Next, we have a, Mariah May promo sit down, which was, it was a good promo. It was, definitely building up the match with winners coming against Mina Shirakawa for the AEW World Women's Championship. But I got to be honest, during the promo, you kind of did see a botch. You saw in the background when Renee Paquette was talking to Mariah May, you saw her, I don't know, she was behind Renee, she had the champagne bottle, and I don't know, it was, then she went in then she went in the door, and I think she came around, and it was it was supposed to be like a surprise, but I was like, because I saw it, and I was like, what? Who the hell was that? At first, I thought it was Mercedes Moné, and then I went back and I kind of rewinded it, and I paused. I was like, dude, does that mean it's your cut? I just thought it was kind of funny, but maybe there was a camera angle malfunction or anything like that. But like I said, didn't really take anything away from the promo too much. But I just thought it was kind of funny. You like seeing a little bit of a little bit of dorky stuff like that. Lastly, in the main event, we saw Claudio Castagnoli defeat Brody King. Now, he's probably going to win the Continental Classic. He's probably going to be the one to challenge Kazuchika Okada for that title. And to be honest, it'd be nice. It'd be kind of cool to kind of see, the Death Riders go up against the Elite, where you kind of have to pick, the worst of the bunch. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Also, you're kind of, stuck with this bad taste in your mouth, where you're kind of like, oh man, I gotta either cheer for Jon Moxley, or I gotta cheer for, Matthew Nicholas Jackson. It might be a nice little spot to kind of bring them back into a babyface kind of thing, but I doubt it. But it'd be a nice little feud between the 4 guys, 4 on 4. That'd be pretty dope. All right, guys, so, hey, that was my AEW Dynamite review. Don't go anywhere. We're going to jump on into TNA, Impact, and Ring of Honor recap. We're going to talk about the episodes that happened last night. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice-cold beverage, and join me here in about 20 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just going to reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Smackdown talk, then we talked about some AEW Dynamite, and now we're going to talk about some TNA Impact, also Ring of Honor recap from last night. So, yeah. But before we do any of that, obviously, you guys make sure you hit up the tips and donations link and hit up that super chat so you guys can be part of the show. And basically, anything you guys put inside that chat box is going to be, it's going to be awesome. Get it off your chest. Don't be shy. It's, being shy is... being shy is so yesterday. I'm just kidding. No. Moving on. So we have TNA Impact. Obviously, we are done with Turning Point. Now we are building up toward final resolution. We had Kushida defeat Leon Slater, Ace Austin, Trent Seven, and JDC. The winner gets an X Division title shot at final resolution. It was, it was a nice spot. It was definitely a nice spot for Kushida. He made his way back, I think it was a couple of months ago he made his way back from an injury. And he's made, quite the impact. Literally. He's literally made quite the impact on TNA Impact. I'm just kidding, though. It's funny. Just kidding. So, you could definitely see him in the X Division. For me, having an X Division champion like Moose, you see somebody like Kushida winning, And if it was again, if Speedball Mike Bailey was still the champion, or Mustafa Ali, or basically anybody but Moose, you would be kind of excited. But now you kind of have, I don't know, Moose is kind of like this big, strapping guy who's like, dude, how is he going to lose? How is Kushida going to, it's kind of like putting the Cruiserweight Championship on Brock Lesnar. Not the Cruiserweight Championship, that's a lie. I guess the Intercontinental. But then again, the Intercontinental Championship, like if you have someone like Gunther as well, and then on NXT on the mid-card belt, you had Oba Femi for the longest time. But I don't know, it just doesn't really seem like it fits. But, obviously, congratulations to Kushida getting that victory. Next, we saw Gia Miller interview Tasha Steelz backstage ahead of her match against Jordan Grace. Steelz vows to be victorious as she sets her sights on the Knockouts World Championship. Obviously, she wants to take out Masha Slamovich. And that'd be a nice little spot. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that. We had a digital media and international heavyweight wrestling champion PCO teaming up with Sami Callihan, defeating the Good Hands, John Skyler and Jason Hotch. After the match, you saw mysteriously the number 23 pop up. What could that mean? Maybe. Honestly, I would not be able to. Well, it did happen after PCO's match. Maybe Matt Cardona? No, not Matt Cardona. Because, he's already kind of present on TNA, so it would make no sense for, it'd be kind of cool to see AJ Styles come back. I'm just kidding, no. Maybe an NXT superstar. Maybe. Just maybe. 23. What would 23 mean? Definitely got to do a little bit of research on that as well. TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth is confronted by First Class in the backstage area. AJ Francis admits that it's been great. It's been a great year for Nemeth, but it's been the best year for him. Francis wants to enter the 2025 TNA World Championship, and Nick Nemeth obviously accepts his challenge without hesitation. Director of Authority Santina Morella makes it official for final resolution on December 13th. Damn, that's right around the corner. That's crazy. I feel like they just had a PLE. Wow, that's like literally like 2 weeks away. AJ Francis, I don't mind AJ Francis. He kind of be a little bit of a punk. But, I definitely don't think he's going to be the one to take down Nick Nemeth. I thought, Joe Hendry maybe they're waiting for him to, in the beginning of the year, so they can have a nice little start from fresh spot where you can put the title on Joe Hendry and kind of just start knocking out momentum. Knock, bing, bang, boom. Kind of like a domino effect. But, should be pretty badass. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers received their contractually obligated rematch for the TNA World Tag Team titles as they challenge the Hardys. Eddie and Myers target the left leg of Matt in the early going, taking away the high-flying offense. Matt counters the roster cut from Myers into a side effect. Matt makes the match, makes the much-needed tag to Jeff. And the pace begins to quicken. Jeff flies with the whisper in the wind to both members of the system. Moments later, the Hardys bounce back with a plot twist to Eddie, followed by a splash. The Hardys bring out a table, but Alicia attacks them with a kendo stick to cause the disqualification. Kind of crazy. But, I think the Hardys recently signed a new contract with TNA as well. They belong in TNA. Matt Hardy was with AEW. I got to be honest, I was a little, it wasn't really wasn't really the best spot. Wasn't really the best spot for him. I really like him back on the TNA roster. And, Jeff Hardy had a lot of success in TNA back in the day. I think he's a former, TNA World Championship. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it's good for him. It's good for both of the superstars, and plus, since you had that collaboration with WWE and TNA, maybe it's always still up in the fray that the Hardy Boys could always make their way back to WWE. Just kind of hit a couple of spots here and there. It'd be good for their publicity as well as WWE's, because wrestling fans love their nostalgia. So the Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy retained their TNA World Tag Team titles via disqualification. All right, next, Spitfire promised to show the world why they're the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, with Danny Luna going one-on-one with Heather by Elegance next week. Director Authority Santino Marella announces that after what happened moments ago, the Hardy will defend the TNA World Tag Team titles against the system in a tables match at Final Resolution. So that's cool. That could be decent. That could not be too bad. Next, Jordynne Grace and Tasha Steelz renew their rivalry as both look to for perhaps another opportunity at becoming the Knockouts World Champion. Rosemary is also seen watching from the Raptors, obviously, where her mind is on, and she wants to become TNA Knockouts Champion as well. Tasha Steelz getting the victory from Jordynne Grace after Jordynne Grace hits a stalling vertical suplex. Steelz, she turns the tide with a foot stomp in the corner. Grace repeatedly drives her neck first into the corner turnbuckle. Steelz hits sliced bread for a 2 count. Alicia Edwards comes out ringside with a kendo stick. Alicia gets up on the apron, allowing Steelz to capitalize on the distraction. Steelz pins Grace with her feet on the ropes for the win. Damn, that's but then again, that's good for Tasha Steelz. Right now, Jordynne Grace. I did a segment on this, I think a couple days ago, about potential wrestlers who, once when their contracts are up, are probably going to wind up in WWE, and Jordynne Grace is on that list. Obviously, I feel like on her way out of TNA, she's going to do her best to kind of put over these young talents like Tasha Steelz, like Queen Aminata. Well, not Queen Aminata. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Scratch that. That was wrong. Maybe like Alicia Edwards. There's maybe like Rosemary. There's a lot of possibilities that could derive from Jordynne Grace. Obviously putting over Masha Slamovich as well was actually pretty good. The match was actually pretty good for for both of them. But it should be it was good. It was good. It was a good spot for her. The Northern Armory, Josh Alexander, Judas Icarus, and Travis Williams and Frankie Kazarian defeat Steve Macklin, Eric Young, Jonathan Grisham, and Mike Santana. All 4 of those superstars. They had a pretty eventful, TNA Turning Point, especially, Frankie Kazarian. I like Frankie Kazarian. I think he's actually pretty cool. Josh Alexander, his contract with TNA still kind of, in hiatus. There's, there was a report from a wrestling news source stating that he could very much find his way into the Royal Rumble. That would be crazy. That would be pretty badass to kind of see that, would it be interesting to see if he won it, right? That'd be interesting. But then again, I don't know. I feel like it's already kind of predetermined that CM Punk's going to win. But that's just me. But, yeah. All right, TNA Impact goes off the air. That's, it was a good episode. All right, now we're going to focus on some... Sorry, my notes. I don't know why there's ads popping up. Oh, my God, that Pizza Hut triple... The three compartment or whatever. I'm sorry, I know, random. But they're serving it right now at Pizza Hut. That's actually pretty good. Oh my God, those little cinnamon buns or whatever. Oh my God, to die for. All right, this week's Ring of Honor Club obviously is it should be after pinning Chris Jericho on Wednesday. You had Tomohiro Ishii, who's continuing his march for another Ring of Honor World title. As he's facing Aaron Solo. The Infantry, Carly Bravo and Sean Dean, with Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor defeated Tom Mitchell and Trace Parker. We also had that's good for the Infantry. First and foremost, they've recently been kind of they've been not really on the best spot that they could possibly be, especially how good they are. I definitely would love to see them go up against, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara for those championships, for, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. That would be, pretty cool. Spanish Announce Project, we have Angelico and Serpentico defeat LSG and Sean Donovan. We also saw Sammy Guevara with Dustin Rhodes defeat Preston Vance. We saw EJ Unduka and Lee Johnson defeat the Philly Marino Experience, Marino Tenagila, and Philly Collins. It reminds me of Phil Collins. It's crazy. We also had what was that? Diamante defeating Rachel Elliott. That's surprising. I feel like Diamante is always successful though. She's always one of the best wrestlers. Rachel, I thought she was gonna be more of a kind of uprising star, but like the Diamante's not. She's not the like an easy 1, 2, 3. Layla Hirsch defeats Tina San Antonio. That's good for Layla. Tomohiro Ishii defeats Aaron Solo, building up momentum for a shot at Chris Jericho's Ring of Honor World Championship. So now, like I said, with Chris Jericho coming to Ring of Honor, from AEW, it's kind of opening up a lot of storylines for a lot of people, like the Bad Apple. Also, for not Big Cass, what's his name, Big Bill. So there's I feel like it's good for them. Nick Wayne with Kip Saban and Mother Wayne defeat Ryan Clancy, obviously building up more momentum. With the Patriarchy, we had a Ring of Honor Classic match. We had the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Title match with the Shane Taylor Promotions going up against the Mexican Squad. We also saw AR Fox defeat Josh Woods, and it looks like Katsuyori Shibata defeats the Butcher. Where's Katsuyori Shibata's been kind of off television for quite, well, not really. He's been off AEW for quite some time. I haven't really seen him on an AEW episode, Dynamite episode, of course. I dabble on Collision and Rampage here and there, but mostly it's Dynamite. All right, guys. So do not go anywhere. We're gonna jump on into our fourth segment. We got some WWE NXT Deadline predictions, so do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, drama, and updates. We talk about, inactive statuses, also, injuries. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk about WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor to the GCW. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, 1,010%. So make sure you guys Superman punch that like and subscribe button so you guys can get a nice notification whenever we decide to go live. All right, just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had my WWE Smackdown talk. We also talked about AEW Dynamite. We also talked about TNA Impact and Ring of Honor Club. We recapped that. And now, without further ado, we're going to talk about my WWE NXT Deadline, predictions. Obviously, hit up that super chat and be super awesome. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome, and we can, get into some good old-fashioned, wrestling talk. All right, on Saturday, we have Deadline. We have some Deadline. I am looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, one of NXT's, obviously this is their last event of the year. But it should be. I'm gearing up for a nice night. I feel like you're a lot of these superstars. This is kind of like the big, the last hurrah of NXT before the the end of the before the end of the year. And kind of like when a lot of people are like, new year, new me. Like I feel like WWE is kind of, especially with a lot's happening with WWE over next year. Like it's crazy in 2025. It's going to be absolutely nuts with this whole Monday Night Raw shift to Netflix. It's going to be great. It's going to be okay. But I'm just wondering if they're going to do like another, if they're going to do away with the rosters, or they're going to like have another draft. Because Netflix, they didn't really have a draft. Raw was owned by United from the USA Network, and SmackDown was Fox. So, maybe we could possibly see another draft. That'd be pretty cool. But, they're going to switch it up. Maybe call some of these people up. Like, there's, I was kind of doing research and I was, kind of looking at the results, and there's a lot of names on here that would be absolutely fire on the WWE, on Raw or SmackDown, so that could definitely be, possible that we can see something like that. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about some WWE NXT Deadline happening in Minneapolis, Minnesota. First, we had the tag team match. We had Nathan Frazier and Axiom taking on Tavion Heights, Miles Born of the North Quarter Catch Crew. The Nathan Frazier and Axiom, like, a lot recently, they've been constantly on the verge of self-destruction. Constantly looking like they're going to lose. Like, maybe they find a way to make Nathan Frazier turn against Axiom, but I just don't see how that would be more successful. Like, I feel like when these two guys are in the ring together and when they're hitting all full circuits and they're kicking ass, there's so much fun to watch. You think about any other tag team out there and you're like, you know what? Like, it's hard to recreate what these guys are doing. Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Unlikeliest of partners. They went at it for quite some time. Decided to be tag team partners, and now they've had success. I don't know. But then again, there could be new signings like, you have Ray Phoenix and Penta. I forgot his name. I always get his name wrong. From AEW, like maybe they come in and kind of be like a luchador's kind of takes over that high flying ability, because nobody wants to see a tag team division with like slow tag teams. Like, I'm not trying to throw shade or anything like that at the tag team division on NXT, but you don't really have that. You don't really have that flair. You don't really have that. Those two superstars who are going to go above and beyond to do some wild crap inside the ring. So that's the reason why I love Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Will they drop the titles? Right now, being honest, if this match is after the men's, I feel like they will. Nathan Frazier will, he's going to be tired from competing in the Iron Survivor match, and then him and Axiom are going to get into it. Axiom's going to get really super upset that Nathan Frazier selfishly went after, that singles championship where he knew there was the match and he had to prepare. So maybe that could be a nice little storyline for them two to kind of, hint toward a breakup. But I don't know. I feel like it's perfect for them to stay tag team champions. So right now I'm heavily conflicted on this. Will it be good for the NXT tag team division if Axiom and Nathan Frazier drop the titles? Maybe you could have another, different faces like, Hank and Tank, OTM, but there are a lot of tag teams on NXT that could definitely benefit from, them dropping the titles. So, maybe, I might be, kind of jumping the gun a little bit here, but I don't know, I just would hate to see them lose because they've been entertaining us out. NXT Underground match. We have Lola Vice taking on Jada Parker. Last time you guys saw these two amazing athletes go at it, there was a brutal hardcore match at the ECW arena. Lola Vice is looking to even the odds with her MMA skills, and I think she's gonna pick up the victory. Like, I'm 75% Lola Vice, 25% Jada Parker. Jada Parker already picked up that victory. I kind of see this as like an Andrade taking on Carmelo Hayes. You're probably going to see these girls fight more often than not. Probably in a lot of stipulations match, like in NXT Underground, you're going to see Lola Vice and pick up the victory where it's tied, 1 game to 1 game, and then maybe they have like a tiebreaker for it. I'm not too sure how it's going to happen, but whenever these girls are inside the ring facing off against each other, they have amazing chemistry. They have amazing chemistry, 1,010%. So, kind of like what I was mentioning on the NXT review on my last episode, you can book these girls in all the matches that you want, and people are going to watch it because they're amazing. They're, it's fun to watch. So, Jada Parker, star, Lola Vice, absolute bombshell star, and, for the WWE Universe, it's just, it's just an added treat onto yet another established feud that would be pretty badass. All right, next we have the Women's Iron Survivor match. We have Julia, Zarya, Stephanie Vaquer, Sol Ruka, and of course you have the always, the underdog, Ren Sinclair. Who's going to win this match? I think it's going to be Zarya. I think it's going to be Zarya or Stephanie Vaquer. Julia, she had her chance to take on Roxanne Perez, obviously. Didn't really, come in fruition, she could definitely challenge. I see her like a North American champion. I don't know why. Like, I'm not trying to downplay her skills to be like in the main event, division. But overall, I don't know. I feel like she'd be great. NXT North American champion. Stephanie Vaquera has been very successful. She's been a huge standout from WWE ever since she joined from the CMLL. So there's no doubt in my mind she's going to get hers. So Ruka, it's just a chance for her to kind of segue herself from the mid-card division into the heavyweight division. So this match is going to be good for her. I definitely feel like she's going to pick up a couple of falls. But I feel like Zarya will be a solid second, if not first. You're going to have her and Stephanie go at it, trying to find out, who's going to pick up the victories here. Obviously, it's going to come down to the last minute. And like maybe Zarya, takes down Ren Sinclair, covers her, 1, 2, and then all of a sudden the time runs out and she's like, oh no. Or maybe it's like I don't know if they have like a sudden death like Iron Survivor match. That would be just be Zarya taking on Stephanie Vaquera in a one-on-one bout. That would be pretty badass. But obviously, gotta throw my love to Ren Sinclair, Julia, and Soruka. But you're gonna see this match to be determined between Stephanie and Zarya. So, I'm like, oh, man, it's so hard. It's so hard. Like 65% Steph, maybe 6. Damn it. See, it's hard to put a number on it. But it's gonna be a good match. This match will definitely. I want to see this match the main event. I got to be honest. I do want to see the women's match main event. All right, next we have the men's Iron Survivor match. We have Wesley taking on Ethan Page, taking on Nathan Frazier, one half of the NXT World Tag Team Champions. We have Javon Evans, and we have Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe, he won that final chance match and was quickly taken out. With him injured, are we going to see a surprise entrant? Honestly, you saw... Ava's buddies, the general managers, I can't think of their name right now. Stone, I think that was one of his names, Stone. And, they open up their eyes and they're, super surprised. Maybe it's Obafemi. Maybe it's a superstar from Raw or SmackDown that, that's going to find his way back down to WWE NXT. There's a lot of possibilities. Maybe it's a complete new guy. There's... for me, I would rather have something completely shocking than see Oba Femi join this match. And I'm not against Oba. I love Oba. I definitely think he's absolutely dominant inside the ring at what he does. He's a monster. But I just don't want to see him go up against Trick Williams. For that match, you're just going to see Oba Femi completely grounded in Trick Williams. Kind of like Trick Williams is going to be in that underdog spot. So I could see why NXT would want to book it. But overall, you either got to give it to Wesley. I doubt Ethan Page. Ethan Page, for me, I feel like he's one step closer to being drafted. He's destined to go to Monday Night Raw. He has to. Especially with Raw going on to Netflix. I feel like they need themselves some all ego to go after that Intercontinental Championship. Maybe he finds a way to challenge Gunther. Or Finn Balor, if Finn Balor, defeats Gunther at Saturday night's main event. That would be interesting as well. Or maybe you see him go after his former, AEW coworker, Cody Rhodes. So you could definitely see, Ethan Page being, being a part of that. Javon Evans, he's young. He's a very young man. The fact that he's there in this match is impressive. Absolutely. So, I doubt he'll pick up the victory. Nathan Frazier, like I said, I feel like he's going to implode. I feel like he's one step away from kind of being a heel, but should be kind of crazy. But if I had to put a pick on it, probably be nice little Wes Lee. But if Oba Femi joins this match, I got to be honest, I'm gonna go with Oba right here. All right, so then we have our final match. To being brutally honest, I kind of hope this isn't the main event. And I don't want to sound mean or anything like that, but I just hope it's not the main event. We have Trick Williams defending his NXT World Heavyweight Championship against Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland recently destroying Chase U from the inside out, and now you have him against Trick Williams. Trick is not going to lose. He's not going to lose. You're as a wrestling promotion, you got to start off the year with a little bit of stability, with a little bit of momentum, with a guy with a face that could definitely bring your wrestling promotion to superstardom, and that's Trick Williams. You know, nothing against Rich Holland. It's going to be one hell of a match. It's going to be a great freaking match. But at the end, I feel like Trick Williams is going to come out the victor. Right now, it'd make no sense for anybody to put the title on Rich Holland. You know, like, nothing against Ridge whatsoever. He'd be a nice little, heel champion. But, Trick Williams right now is just so over with the crowd. Absolutely so over. He's up there in terms of merchandise sales with WWE. So I don't really see taking the spotlight off this guy. I don't think it's the right thing to do. And like I said, maybe if you have Oba win that Iron Survivor match or Wes Lee, you could automatically kind of have Trick Williams kind of, be this, continue to be that babyface that, Shawn Michaels loves so damn much. And that by all means, defending Shawn Michaels here, Trick Williams is the perfect face to be like a babyface. So, all good things are going to happen on NXT. Can't wait to see what happens on tomorrow. It's kind of crazy. All right, we have TNA Turning Point analysis. We're going to talk about it when we come back. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere. All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, talk about all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls, rumors, dramas. We talk about inactive statuses, injury updates. We talk about, wrestling, contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW to TNA, Ring of Honor, the GCW. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, 1,010%. All right, so can I reflect on what we talked about right quick? We had our WWE Smackdown talk. We also talked about AEW Dynamite. We talked about TNA Impact and Ring of Honor. We also talked about my WWE NXT Deadline predictions. And now we're going to jump on into our fifth and final segment. We have, TNA Turning Point. We're going to talk about it. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Last segment of the week. Hope you guys have a beautiful weekend with you and your loved ones during this special holiday season. So, All right, we have Turning Point. TNA Turning Point. Well, I watched highlights. I definitely watched highlights. For me, buying pay-per-views is, kind of a little bit out of my budget, trying to save up as much money as I can during this holiday season to give it to the little kids. So, All right, countdown to Turning Point. We had Rosemary taking on Zaya Brookside and Savannah Evans. Obviously, you saw Rosemary pick up the victory. That's why I feel like TNA's, they're definitely starting to, they're trying to build up Rosemary, which is kind of shocking because during her feud with the NXT's, Tatum Paxley, and then Lyra Valkyria got involved, and then, Wendy Chu was there. Like, it got to the point where Rosemary she kind of looked kind of weak in a couple of her matches that she lost. Now that, TNA's kind of, building her back up to be, a superstar, a potential challenger for Masha Slamovich. Slamovich's TNA Knockouts World Championship. So, I feel like that was, it was the right move. It was, it was a good move. Zaya Brookside continues to be successful. Obviously, she's super young. She's going to get shots, more shots in the past. Savannah Evans, her as well. her as well. You know, with the TNA Knockouts World Championship being off of the juggernaut Jordynne Grace, you have so many different possible storylines that can kind of come about this. She needed to lose that title. It was a little, you know, I don't even want to say it was overdue, because Jordynne Grace is absolutely 1,010% one of the best wrestlers, one of the best women's wrestlers in the whole entire world. So, you know, her losing the title to Masha, like, it doesn't really destroy anything, doesn't really diminish the value, doesn't really, you know, say anything, you know, in terms of her reputation in the world of the professional wrestling spectrum. She's always gonna be special. She's always gonna have that long title run. And Jordynne Grace, wherever she goes, any wrestling promotion she goes, fans are gonna follow, because she's fun to watch. She's fun to watch. She's fun to root for. I hope if she does come to WWE, you know, I hope she doesn't become like a heel or anything like that. I would love to see her back in that, in that babyface role. So I feel like that would be pretty badass. So, you know, Rosemary picking up the victory. All right, we have Mike Santana and Frankie Kazarian. You know, this match was actually pretty damn good. Frankie Kazarian still, you know, looking for, you know, I feel like he's still kind of looking for a storyline here. You know, I often like to compare Frankie Kazarian, you know, his, I don't care if you like me or not kind of attitude to like a Randy Orton. But Mike Santana, you know, he's also building up momentum. He recently, I think he took on Nick Nemeth. I think he was this close of beating Nick Nemeth. Mike Santana, definitely one of the futures of TNA. Obviously, you know, you can put Joe Hendry in that spot. And if Josh Alexander signs with TNA, he could definitely, you know, get back to superstardom. That guy, you know, he had a long TNA World Heavyweight Championship reign. There's no doubt in my mind he could definitely have another one left in it. But Mike Santana continues to be successful, continues to be amazing and fun to watch. Taking on and defeating Frankie Kazarian was, I thought it was a must, being honest. All right, we had the Turkey Bowl match. Where the losers had to dress up like turkeys, which is, you know, kind of silly, but, you know, it's all fun. Joe Hendry defeated Brian Myers, Eric Young, Hammerstone, Rhino, and John Skyla in the Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl. Obviously, Hammerstone was said to be injured. I think he got injured during the match. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But, you know, him winning and him not winning, it does, you know, doesn't really matter. But, you know, Joe Hendry, once again, you know, he's going to be the future of WWE as well. Like, he can be on WWE NXT. I want to see him come to NXT. That would be so cool to take on Trick Williams and win that belt. I would love to see that. But if you could put the TNA World Championship on him, I don't, you know, wouldn't really see why that would be such a bad idea. But I feel like if they do that, I think his, WWE fans who love Joe Hendry, you know, could probably kiss those storylines goodbye. So, you know, maybe kind of having him, you know, not a champion, which kind of sucks because he deserves it. But, you know, it's kind of a nice little, anything could happen, like, oh, he can come, say his name, and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Oh, God, it'd be awesome to see him, fight in NXT, win that championship. That'd be so cool. But, you know, Joe Hendry wins, and, you know, all the other ones had to dress up like turkeys. Once, you know, like I keep kind of reiterating, Moose successfully defends the TNA X Division Championship against the Laredo Kid. God, I don't like Moose having this title. I don't. I hate it. It's like I said, it's like Brock Lesnar being the Intercontinental Champion, or worse, being the Cruiserweight champion. I don't get it. I don't know why do you want to put them. You know, obviously I knew, you know, Speedball Mike Bailey was kind of out on his way out of TNA, so they had to have him drop the title to somebody. But anybody would have been better than Moose. I gotta be honest. And I'm not hating on the guy. Obviously, you know, he had his reign as the TNA World Champion. He had the longest reign with him in the system. Like, respect is there, kid. It's just like, God, not the X Division Championship. You can't rule the X Division as well, Moose. I'm sorry, dude. You can't do it. You just can't. All right, we have Josh Alexander, losing to Steve Macklin. This was, it was a decent spot. Recently, you've seen Josh Alexander kind of be in the loser's column more often than not. But like he doesn't have a contract right now, so there could possibly, like I said, he could possibly be on his way out to WWE. There's been reliable wrestling news sources saying that he will join the WWE Royal Rumble, and it wouldn't really be much of a shock, and it wouldn't be much of a surprise, because Josh Alexander would be successful anywhere he goes. I like to compare him to kind of like a Kurt Angle, like a ruthless, like rugged. Like, I'm not saying Kurt Angle wasn't ruthless, but the way Josh Alexander is, I feel like he has more of that killer instinct as Kurt Angle kind of started to adapt, started to kind of implement within his movesets, later on in his career before he went to TNA for the first time. But, him getting this loss against Steve Maclin, for me, it's kind of it was a little surprising. All right, we had the TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, Matt and Jeff, and Ace Austin taking on Zachary Wentz, Kushida, and Matt Riddle. It was supposed to be Trey Miguel, but, traveling issues. The original Bro was unveiled as their mystery tag team partner, which obviously leaves a lot of questions. That will Matt Hardy eventually find his way back into WWE? He said it in an interview that he will most likely wind up in WWE. I think he personally wants to. But the thing he's doing right now in MLW right now, when he's not with WWE, he's still kicking ass. He's still doing great. But Zachary Wentz was the one to kind of unveil the original Bro, which is kind of cool. Which was kind of cool. I would love to see, Matt Riddle kind of do more things in TNA. Would kind of be interested to see him go after Nick Nemeth. That would be an interesting little feud there. Or maybe he can beat Moose. No, I'm just kidding. Matt Riddle is, he's damn near the main event. I feel like he's a main eventer. I do. I feel like he's he's special inside the ring. I like him. Matt Riddle, I can't believe that. Bro Derek, dude, that's crazy. Knockouts World Championship, we had Masha Slamovich, in that rematch, in the 2 out of 3 falls match with Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace went up 1-0, Masha Slamovich tied it. And then, you had Masha Slamovich defeat Jordan Grace. 2 out of 3 falls match to retain the Knockouts World Championship. So, still building up momentum. We're still building up momentum toward Masha Slamovich's TNA Knockouts World title run. Like I was talking about, Jordan Grace probably kind of on her way out of TNA. Her contract is going to expire pretty soon in WWE. There's been one consistent TNA star that's been within the roster, especially within the women's division, and it's Jordan Grace. It would make no sense for her to be anywhere else. Her kind of being on WWE, NXT, being with, maybe possibly being with like TNA, on time to time, like that's, that'd be a great spot for her. That would be great, 1,010%. And, maybe a future NXT World Women's Champion? Maybe, not ruling it out here, but, should be pretty badass. Eddie Edwards against Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth won the championship. He retained, should I say, which is, we all knew that was going to happen. Eddie Edwards was a scumbag. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a huge fan of the system. I got to be brutally honest with you guys. But we had a little bit of a surprise after stuff was going down. It looked like Mike Edwards was going to get some help from his tag team partner. But then you saw John Bradshaw Layfield come in at the, I think he was. Damn it, what's his name? Ton Hannafin? Ton Hannafin was even talking. He's like, who's he coming out here to help? Who's he coming out here to help? And like he came out, he clotheslined from hell. Eddie Edwards, which is actually pretty badass. I definitely love that spot for JBL. I love him on TNA. I feel like he's great. I gotta be honest. I feel like he's great. He's on a good spot. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Hopefully you guys had a fun time. Like I said, hope you guys had an amazing week. Hope you guys are heading up into an amazing weekend. Stay safe, stay awesome. And, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have a whole bunch of other podcasts. We have College Football with my man Tommy with the GSMC College Football Podcast. We have 2 football podcasts. Find out all the breaking news. Find out all the trades. Find out which coaches are actually actually getting fired by the, dropping like flies. Tune in to Kenneth's GSMC Football Podcast and Manny's GSMC Chip Shot Football Podcast. You find out all your awesome NFL content there. And, of course, in terms of talking football, college, or even the NFL, fantasy sports is bound to happen. I feel like a lot of fantasy teams right now are, you kind of need to find out those stardoms, those sit-ems, those who to pick up off the waiver wire. Right now, there's a lot of players that, they're injured. Find out how to make your team a WWE champion by watching the GSMC Fantasy Sports Podcast with my man, Chris Shepard. We have all over sports, all around sports, from football, basketball, hockey, and baseball. Tune into Nelson's GSMC Sports Podcast and tune into Jeremy's Sports by GSMC. Make sure you guys tune into all those guys' amazing podcasts. They're great. They're hot. They're the greatest thing since sliced bread. And now we got Emran's GSMC Deadball Podcast coming up, shortly. So make sure you guys tune into that. All right, guys. So like I said, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Definitely love and hope you guys have a great weekend. So stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go.